and then you've got people that spend their whole life playing it. So you can't be that mad if you lose and they win, which I do see a lot of, and it is frustrating. Like, you see some 16-year-old kid come in, start trading meme coins, and make $1 million, and you're like, well, shit, I've been in crypto for 10 years, and where's my $1 million from a meme coin?
That is where it gets tempting. That
Right?
is, and don't get me wrong. Like I've probably over the course of, the last few years, I've probably bought, like 4 Solana based meme coins, hoping to get lucky. And honestly, like I think one of them I was smart enough, and like when it tripled, I sold instead of trying to get that 100x gain. And it's a good thing I did, because all the other ones were complete busts, and that one ended up being a bust too. Like I just sold it, luckily, but I'm net negative on all 5 of those plays. But it's like, yeah, you're chasing lotto tickets, and you see those news articles about so and so turning $1,000 into 1.3 million on said meme coin. And you're like, how hard can this be? Like, I just got to gamble it up. But yeah, there's a lot more to it than that. You got to be
For
all in
sure.
on paying attention to the socials and the thing and the hype, and getting in, right as it's going viral, if not before it goes viral. So it's a whole, like thing. It's like a task, almost like a job, if you want to quote unquote get lucky.
Yeah, it's like the song. You got to be
Yep.
up all night to get lucky.
Yep. And like you said, but it kind of is a young man's game. Like, yeah, newbies, because they got that newbie energy, but still, like, I don't, when I was, late 20s, early 30s, I'm day trading like a monster, and like, all about it, and nothing can keep me away from it. And now I think about that, and that just sounds exhausting, and I have zero interest. To an extent, it is a young man's game when you're more just,
A little bit of
energy.
naivete.
That too, yeah, yeah. That is part of it, because I mean, I walked away from day trading when I realized that, like, at the end of the day, only 2% of the people make real money. And I saw this from being in a trading office for many years, and it's like 2% of the people are making like big money.
Right.
And then you got the rest that are basically just earning a living, and then you got the rest that are just losing money. Where I could, quote unquote, earn a living, not even a good one. And finally I realized, I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to be one of those 2%. And I'm starting to get tired of all this. So that's when I, moved on. And that's the majority of people when it comes to active trading.
Yeah, that's kind of how everything is. I think it definitely, like with trading, it's more extreme. But like, if you really think about it, with most things, the money, the really the success, even if you take the money out of it, kind of flows to the top, right? Like the best of the best get 90%, and then the 10% is left to everybody else. And I definitely think crypto and trading in general very much like that. It's very much like I actually was explaining this to someone a couple of weeks ago, but and we were talking about options. But trading in general is very much a PvP game, right? Like if you're making money, it's because somebody else lost that trade to you. Because people ask, like, well, where does the money all come from? Well, it's not being created out of thin air. It's
Yeah.
because if you bought Bitcoin at $1,000 and you sold it at $100,000 and you made $99,000 in profit, it's because someone else is paying you the $99,000 in order to buy it from you, and that profit that you're making is coming from their pocket. Which is not to say that it then can't go to 200,000 and then now they make 100,000, but now they're making 100. Now you're not making 100,000 if you were the original buyer, and they're making the 100,000 from the next buyer.